In terms of the pivotal moment, it would have to be my election as a member of Parliament back in June the 25th, 1968. And of course, my life really changed. First of all, it changed from a family sense. Our three boys were 8, 6, and 4. And I was going to end up, and my wife and children lived in Vegreville, of course. And I was going to end up spending most of my time in Ottawa. And this was a rather traumatic undertaking. And she deserves a gold medal for having raised the kids during that whole period of time. But I guess I hadn't realized it then, but very soon after I realized that I wasn't my own property. I was the property of the public, and I had to be there and deliver the goods. I mean, it wasn't a part-time job. It became a full-time job. And I must say, I enjoyed the work very much, because there's one thing that I miss in politics today, and that is the ability to help people. A member of Parliament helps a lot of people. Immigration issues, passport issues, unemployment insurance issues. All these things sound very trivial, but to the individual, getting visas, all of these things sound very trivial, but to the individual, they're very important. And your success as a member of Parliament is really contingent upon your ability to deliver those things. And then people come to you with their personal problems too. And the more you listen, the more they come. I used to say that on Saturdays in Vegreville, they'd line up outside my office like they were going into a confessional. But I enjoyed it. And then, of course, the other thing, and I'm elaborating here a little bit, but the role of a member of Parliament is sometimes not totally understood. The role of a member of Parliament is first and foremost to represent your constituency and to sort of serve as an ombudsman and dealing with all these issues that people bring to you. You know, things like they had quotas for everything when I first got elected. Quotas for cream, quotas for eggs, quotas for wheat, quotas for barley. And all of these things, there was always some problem. And you always had to sort of sort them out. So your first responsibility, I always figured, was the role as an ombudsman in doing these things. The second role is your role as a legislator. I mean, your job to speak on the floor of the House, to raise issues on the floor of the House that concern your constituency, your region, and your country. So you've got the role of the ombudsman, the role as a legislator. And then thirdly, and the one that is abused and misused and not considered, is your role as a party member. The party is very much a part of our democratic system. And being a member of a party is what gives you the vehicle to get to the House of Commons in the first place. And you've got to work at it, nurture that. And it means going to party functions. It means helping others get elected. I mean, because unless you're elected, you can't do anything. And so the role of party member, and the other thing that people tend to overlook is that parties are institutions that build consensus. I mean, when I went to Ottawa the first time, went to that first caucus, I thought I knew everything, and if they just listened to me, we could solve all the problems. Well, when I heard what they had to say from the Atlantic region and from the Quebec region and then Ontario, and then little old me from Alberta, I just thought, well, you know, it's going to take a lot of work to cut through this, but that's part of the nation. And finally, you know, we malign our institutions far too much, and there's far too much cynicism. And I know it's not that there needs to be some improvement. But the House of Commons is where it all comes together as a country. In the final analysis, that's the center. That's the center of the country. And when issues arise, whether it's war, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's an economic crisis, it still comes to the floor of the House of Commons for resolution. And we should never forget that. And we should nurture that. And I feel very strongly about that.